Good day, I'm Marina Kim and you're watching the latest news from Kazakhstan. Abakayev's return, one of the president's allies, was reappointed to the post of the National Security Committee chairman. The Algan registered party activists are proving in the court the published law extracts on the Kazakhstanskaya Pravda newspaper illegitimate. Local farmer from eastern Kazakhstan is protesting alone in Ust-Kamenogorsk city square. Nurtai Abakayev returned to the political heights of the country as a new leader of the National Security Committee. He is known to be one of the close allies with President Nazarbayev and carrying out special missions.
President of Kazakhstan had appointed Nurtai Abakayev as the chairman of the National Security Committee for the second time, though it remains unclear what this all must be about. None of the politicians could have predicted Abakayev's return to his post after 11 years of his dismissal. Some experience of them may only suggest that it may be a personal revenge of Abakayev for somebody's thorough game. I can't comment it. It is not actually my business. Not at all. I greatly respect Abakayev. This is, of course, not a political decision. The issue of the NSC human resources is out of my competence. Meanwhile, the oppositional politicians were not indifferent to the news of the new national security appointment. I was fully satisfied with the news on Abakayev's appointment. He is respectable enough to lead such organization. Communist Vladislav Kosarev believes that Abakayev's appointment is related with numerous facts of authority abused by many officials lately. Now, with agency led by such experienced men, will bring some order in the government, says the politician. I expect that the toughening the monitor of the country will mainly apply to the highest-ranking officials and won't affect the ordinary citizens, so they have no reason to worry. The unexpected appointment may have resulted from the chaotic changes in the political elite of Kazakhstan. Bulat Abilov suggests there is no unity in it, which is so important for the president at the moment. The president had probably decided that this will be more effective to engage one of the most experienced former KGB agents in consolidation of political elite members and somehow regulate the political process. In the meantime, the new appointee Nurtai Abakayev was already instructed in methods of regulating the situation. President's ex-son-in-law Rahat Aliyev claims in his internet posting that Abakayev was previously dismissed because of the scandal over the supply of Kazakh MiG-21 military helicopters to North Korea. Moreover, when Abakayev was leading the Kazakh Senate, his subordinate Erjan Utimbayev was sentenced to 20 years of imprisonment for organizing alleged murder of the oppositionist Altunbek Sarsimbayev. According to unofficial version, Abakayev was also involved in this crime.
The chairman of the military tribunal, Serik Baybatyrov, was shot from the bypassing car. The judge has survived, although was seriously injured. Internal Affairs Minister Serik Baymagambetov had reported yesterday saying the suspect's identity was established. According to them, it is Baybatyrov's son-in-law.
The arrest measures are underway at the moment. We have reliable sources confirming the murderous assault was conducted by his ex-son-in-law. Criminal case is instigated and is taken under special control.
The case on Kizilagash flood was transferred to the military tribunal of the Taldykargansky garrison. The preliminary investigation is completed by the Almaty Regional Prosecutor's Office. In spring this year, 45 people died in the flood caused after the local dam broke up. The head of the Kizilagash village administration, Yesya Janusov, along with the head of Aksu Emergency Situation Department head and the deputy administration head of the Aksu region, Berik Tanishbayev, are on trial, charged with professional negligence. The head of the Water Consumers Cooperative chairman, Kuanish Bikeyev, and its executive director, Maksud Janusov, are charged with malpractice. Deputy head of the Almaty Regional Emergency Department, Eugene Yenin, is accused in professional negligence that led to extreme consequences. All the convicts are held under detention. Lawyer Sergei Utkin and director of the Kometa S print house Yulia Kozlova warned the businesses from customs union member states about the potential problems with applying the transfer price practice.
A trial over the case of Kometa printing house has been lasting for almost a year now. The tax inspection agency claims the company's transfer pricing violations. In other words, it happens when the prices occur as a result of the commercial exchange between the interconnected companies. Printing house finds itself in a tricky situation when the authorities interpret the thematic law in a beneficial for them way. By this, we're demonstrating that the Kazakh judiciary practice has got such problems. You can over and do a business, but in case if your goods and services prices will appear to be lower than the market one, then you are in trouble, including the criminal liability risk. The Kometa S printing house situation created a precedent in Kazakhstan. None of the local businesses have been subjected to tax for using imported stationery supplies in its office, and especially for receiving temporary financial assistance from third parties. For the latter, company leader Yulia Kozlova was fined for more than $27,000. We are engaged in the customs union, which means businesses from Belarus and Russia will start operating here. It will certainly create big problems if the authorities will burden the businesses in similar way with Kometa S, when they will have to pay extra taxes. In September last year, the printing house Kometa S office was subjected to penetration with the purpose of house check by the financial police. It then resulted in fining the company's leader and temporary shutdown of the printing shop. There followed numerous trials, another one which ended on Monday. The specialized inter-district judge Sagambayeva had refused to fulfill the lawsuit against the tax authorities. This was commented by Kometa S leader Yulia Kozlova as the authorities attempt to shut down the only printing house which dared to print the oppositional newspaper The Voice of the Republic, as well as the newsletters of the unregistered Alga party. In this situation, says Olga, the tax inspection agency's claims are nothing but a cover for the political will of the authorities.
The Alga unregistered party activists continue campaigning against the leader of nation law. At the same time, they filed new lawsuits in Astana and Almaty. Next report has details.
Activists of the unregistered political party Alga are trying to question the legalization of the leader of the nation status without the consent of the President Nazarbayev. The Sararka court of Astana is conducting the first hearing over the petition of the activists against the newspaper Kazakhstanskaya Pravda, the Kazakh Truth, as it has published the text of the scandalous law without the signature of the head of state. The judge has not allowed journalists to participate during the hearing. Wait downstairs, they will invite you. The judge Sultanbekova has not invited anyone. The hearing was held under the closed doors. The representatives of the newspaper Kazakhstanskaya Pravda have refrained from comments. Did anyone give the permission to film me? Well, you don't want to provide comments anyway. I was talking with the leadership. Well, I was asking, can I film you? No, comments will be provided later. The hearing lasted for less than 20 minutes. The representatives of the Kazakhstanskaya Pravda have finally provided comments. The defendant has objected the fact that they have no right to examine the legal side of the matter. There are corresponding controlling agencies that do this. As a result, we saw the defendant saying something like, it doesn't matter what information they have, they will publish whatever. The next hearing is planned for September 1st. Meanwhile, the Alga activists are also under trial in Almaty. They have appealed to the Almaty court with a complaint demanding the court to examine the petition against the acceptance of the law on the leader of nation. Someone has to be against. This is wrong when everybody say yes, so that the authorities would easily apply whatever they want without the national consent. The petition of the activist Abdrakhmanova was rejected. The activists of the unregistered political party Alga have filed over 100 lawsuits around the entire Kazakhstan. The chances that they will be satisfied are zero, but the statistics remain significant.
A farmer from the Oktyabrskaya village had launched a hunger strike in the Usk-Kamenogorsk square. He claims that village residents are in poverty because of the illegal privatization. Next report has more.
A resident of the Oktyabrskaya village launched the termless hunger strike right in the middle of the Usk-Kamenogorsk square, demanding the regional authorities to give the land to farmers. Initially, the farmer was going to hold his campaign inside of the building, but he was escorted out shortly. They said it is prohibited to do that here. Striking farmer claims he's the only one to stand up for the fate of his village resided by 1,000 people. Other residents, according to Kinjigali, are afraid to speak out. The problem is that villages have lost their right for land ownership after the state farm, which they were part of, was liquidated in the mid-90s. Ever since, farmers live in poverty, as the land unit trusts all belong to peasant farm leader now.
Местная власть виновата. Они сделали приватизацию.
It is the fault of the local authorities. They organized the privatization of the land use with violation of the law because everybody was supposed to get his share of land and property. The hunger strike is the only way to solve the problem, says the protesting farmer. Kinjagali even left his village secretly in order to come to Ust-Kamenogorsk seeking for justice. None of his fellow villagers know about this action. While man was speaking to us, surprisingly, administration representatives approached him. Now we'll accept the official claim and then we'll start processing it. We'll certainly respond. While the official was speaking to a reporter, protester was escorted inside the administration building and the square was quickly filled up with many officials and police officers who didn't really care about the only striker. They were busy with more important pursuits, celebration of the Constitution Day and the Interregional Cooperation Forum.
The interest holders from Almaty continue seeking for justice for many years already. Yesterday they filed a lawsuit against Kazkommerts engineering company, which has suspended the construction of the Champs-Élysées state project. Moreover, they demand to conduct fiscal inspection of the company and bring it to legal liability.
We have freedom of speech and democracy. We're not violating anything.
This time, interest holders came to the court session holding posters featuring written demands addressed at ex-Prime Minister Sergei Tereshchenko. They demand him to return their money back because he was affiliated with the contractor companies which have suspended the construction projects. In addition to the new lawsuit, the interest holders now demand to include the leader of the ex-Champs-Élysées state project leader, Askar Arazbayev, in the court case. Arazbayev was convicted early this year. Protesters believe the convict may reveal the court all the corruption and criminal schemes involving Tereshchenko. In relation with such claim, the case review was postponed to September.
We didn't take the suggestion out of the blue. Arazbayev must testify in the process. We have thoroughly discussed this, all with our lawyers, and came to conclusion that this man, who is charged with corruption, must know all the possible schemes which involve Tereshchenko. We want him to reveal all of them to the court.
Traveling on bus on long-distance routes in Kazakhstan is not really safe. It was revealed that passengers in southern Kazakhstan traveling on bus are at risk. Next report has more.
Jetisai-Almaty highway with no documents. The inside of the car is filled with vegetables and fruit. The buses in the southern Kazakhstan run on illegal routes. Very often the drivers have no documents and no insurance. No one examines the documents, condition of the drivers and the buses. It is like a powder keg that can explode at any moment. The deputy governor of the South Kazakhstan region, Bolatbek Aliyev, is confident that it is easy to stop the activities of illegal drivers. There are legal acts and articles in the administrative code. There are mobile posts of the transport inspection, the road police. There are stationary posts. We give them the plate numbers of the cars so that they will block them, however the problem still exists. Meanwhile, the passengers have claims to those drivers who work on official bus stations. Natalia Haikina will never forget her trip from Shymkent to Baikonur, as people were standing inside the bus for hours. There were no posts whatsoever. No one cared about us. The central door was blocked and everyone used the first door. If the bus would catch a fire, we would all die. According to the members of the transport inspection, over 150 buses head to Almaty, Astana and Karaganda from the south daily. Only the third of them are legal transporters.
This is all for today. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.